turn the headphones down because I'm really loud.
Yeah, same.
All right. Sound better. Sound ready. Is that you? Is it me? Oh, no, I turned my shit off.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is the mixtape with K, Diesel, and Zap. This is the mixtape. We got kicks in the bag. This is the mixtape. Live at 8:05. This is the mixtape. Yeah, the mixtape. This is the mixtape with K, Diesel, and Zap. This is the mixtape. We got kicks in the bag. This is the mixtape. Live at 8:05. This is the mixtape. Yeah, the mixtape.
Are we starting on time?
Starting on time.
What the hell is going on with us?
Is this normal?
It's not normal. Our regular viewers in Hawaii that say, we think they're a Hawaii show. They start at 8:08.
Oh, word.
I feel really weird starting on time.
I know.
Welcome to the Mixtape Podcast. I am your OVERWEIGHTKDEEZIL. And that is?
I'm DJ Zap, looking like a big jug of milk tonight with the white t-shirt.
It was a hot day, man.
Yeah.
I was going to get dressed up. I took a shower right before because I had, swamp ass going on. And I was like, I got to.
I clearly missed the memo.
Right. And in the building. Right between us, we got the one and only DJ Flashback.
Flashback.
I do my own echoes.
Love it.
Yeah.
This is when we play that flashback theme that we don't have because we only have the same theme.
Although who does the theme for the Mixtape Podcast?
Wow.
I've been meaning to ask.
So it's really bad because I can't remember dude's name. I can just say it's Cody's homie, and I hope he's not tuning in right now because he does tune in. He does watch.
To be fair, So.
I met him twice, and I just.
Still though, props. He threw it down on that thing,
right? Yeah, and we love it, but he did it back when we were doing
Thursday nights.
Oh, so you got to get the date change.
There. Well, then I did like some editing. We had like a little intro to it and all that, and then
copyright claim.
We got flagged
on the first
for the little samples that I put in it. So then I had to change that.
Yeah.
And
what kind of samples were you putting in there?
Well, it was from CB4. It was like movie samples.
But it was like Street Fighter.
No. He recorded a second version for us, and when he brought it, it was updated. It was like talking about Monday and more updated stuff on the podcast, but it had a Backstreet Boys sample in the background, literally, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool, but we would.
It was a good rap, you know what I mean? But so we didn't want to get flagged for that. So then I updated my own,
back to.
And then as soon as we made the jump to YouTube,
right, we
got flagged for it, and it wasn't because it was a sample from CB4 the movie, but it wasn't the movie. It wasn't like, I forget who produced
a snippet,
the movie
like
or whatever.
A sound clip from the movie. But
no, it was from like a Russian
rapper.
Oh,
so it wasn't even the correct sample.
No, somebody else.
Yeah, it's like the sample of the sample. The sample said
somebody else copyrighted or claimed the sample as theirs.
Yeah,
and then
it wasn't Tom Tom Club. It was Big Energy that claimed it. Right?
So it wasn't Chris Rock or anything to do with any of that. It was like some Russian guy.
Vladimir Putin.
You're using my sample. I must go to order. No,
he might be in the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. Shout out to the people in the chat already, Mr. Tyler.
Tyler.
Oh, Timeless in the building.
Timeless.
I can't see who's in the chat, so.
Oh, there you go. That's who we know is in the chat.
No?
Well,
Oh, no.
Shout out DJ
yeah.
Timeless.
Yeah, shout out to Timeless. Doing big things in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
We had Timeless pre-Santa. We had the pre-Santa Barbara Timeless on our show.
Oh, Timeless. The new Timeless.
The new Timeless. I was like,
We don't see the new Timeless.
I know.
We barely see you. Shout out to Tony Fuse. Says, what's up, Flashback?
Hey,
Yeah,
shout out to
Tony.
Tony.
DJ Cat. Optic.
Yeah.
What's happening? He was here the other day when Petey was here. Oh.
Shout out to Petey, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Petey.
He left his headphones, huh?
Did you text him?
I did text him.
Petey, guess what I found? It's weird. I found it in my bag for some reason. I thought they were mine, the headphones
Yo,
that I don't
Petey,
ever use.
Petey, I wouldn't let Pioneer find out about this, that you have Technics headphones. I'm just putting that out there because he was talking about how his pride and joy was his platinum CDJs
Right.
and everything. So
It's like those NFL players. They make them tape up. You're sponsored by Nike, so draw the Nike over the tape, but you're really wearing Adidas underneath. Whatever.
nah, but shout out to Petey, man.
Yeah,
you guys had a great show last week. So
Yeah,
that
Petey
It
came through.
definitely was
and-
fun.
Yeah, it was good times. Good times. But now we're ready for good times tonight with DJ Flashback.
Woo!
You know, so for the folks that don't know you out there, and the millions watching in England, because you've been to England, so we'll talk England a little bit. But
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I've established the fan base over there.
well,
yet.
neither have we, so that makes it perfect. We have about 10% of our viewership is from the United Kingdom.
Oh,
so
shout out to the UK.
tell them a little bit about yourself and who you are and
I don't know where to start, man.
Just
I'm gonna put this right here so you
Basic
can
bio.
see the,
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah,
live
yeah,
chat
cool.
who's on there because I got it on my.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where to start. I mean,
When'd you go to England?
It's gonna be now 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Felt like
been
it
about
was
4
last
years.
week.
Yeah. I'm a DJ that loves to travel. I guess that
hey,
we'll start with that.
Let's just admit that 2020, most people just cut that year out of their memory because they
Yeah.
felt like they did nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like 4 years ago really was like 3 years ago.
I guess,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It
I don't
was
know.
like-
I mean, I still had to work through the
Well,
pandemic.
yeah.
Right,
Well,
right.
that's because you're essential.
So, yeah.
You're essential.
They classified us as essential workers, so yeah.
Right.
Still going in 3 days
So,
a week. Pandemic.
when you did, let's talk about that. I know we were going on England, but when you did you have to get one of those pieces of paper and post it on your car? Do you remember that? Like at the very beginning, they were like,
like,
everybody's
I'm-
got to stay home.
Oh, they gotta stay home.
unless you have this
Oh, yeah.
this paper and you have to
no.
attach it to your car.
No, our boss had forwarded us one. Like
Oh.
he had gotten
Just
for
in
like
case?
the company
Right.
just in case
Right.
if they were going to give us any trouble, but we never printed anything out.
Like an Uber sticker in the middle of the night driving by. I'm an Uber. Don't pull me over.
I remember I don't know what I was doing out and about, but I was like, I'm not going to stay home.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing like work trucks and stuff with that sticker. I know somebody worked at Diablo Canyon.
That's
and
right.
so
Yeah.
They had to have that posted on. But I know, or I felt at least that San Luis County was a little bit more stricter with that when it first.
They should do one of
Went
those right
into
now, like
effect.
working at Mother's tonight, and then you just get to put it and drive through all the traffic. whatever. I'm at Rancho tonight. Leave me alone.
It's too bad we don't live down south where they have carpool lanes. At least we could use that as an excuse. Use the carpool lane. You're an essential worker. Go.
Have a blow up Kiko in your passenger side.
They do that in like Japan and things like that.
Just waving at people.
Yeah.
Do that
Like
again.
the ones at the car lots, the little balloon things that like, float around.
Wacky inflatable arms guy.
There you go.
Like on airplane, he's all.
What's up, June? June,
yeah, what's
June
up?
in the
Hey,
chat.
what's
What's
up?
up? What's
DJ
up, Mark?
Chaotic.
Just calling you by your
What up,
government
man?
name, son.
Yeah, he's in LA or down south. I know he's down south. You can type where you're at, Mr.
Yeah, let us
Rivera.
know where you're from, where you're checking in from.
Yeah, he's all originally from Santa Maria, but coming
It
here.
happens. It
Yeah.
happens.
He saw
So-
Flashback was going to be on, so that's why he came.
Right. So you went to England. Was it work related or was it?
No, it's purely for
Uh-huh.
just for.
How long were you there?
Well, it was more just a general European trip because I had never gone and I always wanted to go. And I figured, if I keep putting it off, I was never going to do it.
Right.
And I couldn't find anybody to go with at the time. Even my parents were like, it's a lot of money,
Yeah.
it's not easy. So I just went ahead and
Did your thing.
did my thing. I was out there for about 2 weeks.
And where'd you go? Where'd you go? You went to, it was England.
Yeah,
What
I
other
was
countries?
in London, then I went to France.
He was in London.
Yeah.
London.
Now
I checked out the Beatles.
I see London, I see France. I did not see anybody's underpants.
Right? He came back with a affliction for tea.
Yeah.
Where's the tea time?
I mean, I am drinking tea here.
Oh, there it is.
He's all. I used to go to Starbucks. Now I go to Dutch Bros. Dutch Bros. No, so London, France. Stopped in
Yeah,
France?
I went to London, was in Paris, and then Netherlands. And I visited my buddy in the Netherlands.
Did they know they're like American? Here he comes. Is that how it works?
Oh, in France they totally did.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I got out of the train station, I needed someplace to charge my phone. So I went into this little cafe thinking, 2 years of French that I know, it'll be enough to get me by. Hell no.
No. Oh,
They knew
wow.
right away.
No, they knew right away. I was like, I apologized in like my poor French. I'm like, I apologize, my French is
Yeah.
bad, and they literally told me in French, oh no, it's terrible, and he just laughed in my face.
Oh,
and
wow.
Stop
I-
butchering my language.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Just speak English.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, but I had a great time.
Nice. And picked a vinyl along the way.
Yeah, well,
See.
a lot of vinyl actually.
Yeah.
How was that?
I'm surprised I didn't get warped.
Did you DJ at all when you were there? Did you get that
No.
opportunity? No.
I just
Did
went
you
around
get-
the different like record stores.
Did
and
you check out like their nightlife, their clubs and stuff like that?
No, actually, I didn't even get a chance to go into the club either. I don't know. I was just mostly doing my thing.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but I did, I did want to check out the like local record stores, hang
Right.
out, see if there were like any, events or anything. So
Did the underground? You did the underground when you were in England, right? What is it? Well, it's when in
well, the
Rome,
tube
but-
or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to go on the subway over there. That's what I want to do. I know it sounds dumb, but that's what I want to do.
All right.
yeah,
Across the pond.
across the pond.
I get all my shit from movies, so I don't know.
There you go.
Big Ben Parliament.
Or was it National Lampoon's European Vacation?
Yeah, exactly. Rusty.
Don't drink the water.
And shout out to everybody out there in Europe. I mean, I know they're going through crazy stuff going on in the world.
Yeah.
It's crazy right now, and the amount of information that's just coming from everywhere. I don't have cable, so at home I don't have the news. The only time I
You're
get
not
the
missing
news,
much, I'm telling
right?
you.
No, but I'm saying the only time I get
Right.
the news is when I'm at work, and even then, most of our channels are on sports channels, so
Right.
usually that gets neglected. But I'm getting plenty from all the social media outlets that are
Right.
there, like Twitter right now. It's just
Yeah, I think
Crazy,
I saw
crazy,
like
crazy.
Sean Penn's there, and then I saw something with like Steven Seagal. Did you guys see that Steven Seagal thing? No.
Surprising. It doesn't surprise me though, that Steven Seagal would be doing
the
something.
rest of the world's concerned.
Yeah,
Zap's getting his shit through memes.
yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't told me that Dennis Rodman somehow is in Ukraine right now.
Right? I mean, I didn't even like.
He's in Putin's ear. Just
Yeah.
I was going through the internet today, and I was like, the Olympics are over. I didn't know the Olympics even finished. Right? They had the Winter Olympics.
Winter Olympics.
You know, like the Russian, what ROC, whatever that stands for. I'm sorry.
Rock
Russian
Nation?
Olympic
Rock
Committee.
Nation.
Rock
The Rock
Nation.
is in the building.
Shout out Jay-Z.
Throw your diamonds in the sky.
Rock in the building.
I didn't even know they was competing.
Yeah, I didn't know. Next up, Memphis Bleak.
Well, it was funny. Even my girlfriend and I, at the beginning when the Olympics started, we were like, "Wait, the U.S. is competing?"
Yeah,
They were boycotting the Olympics.
right. They're like they're in China this
Yeah.
time.
I saw some pretty cool stuff. There was controversy. One of the Russian
Figure skaters.
figure skaters, she got tested dirty, but they let her compete.
Yeah.
And the runner that last year,
got busted for weed.
Yeah.
weed, right?
Yeah.
She's like, how come she's not in trouble? How come they're letting her stay in whatever, right?
Well, I'm sure all you remember what happened to the whole Nancy Kerrigan thing, and they still let her compete in the Olympics.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
True. I
They're
don't know.
paying us back for that one. Plus, they gave that. I heard they gave that girl allegedly pills to like stay small.
I don't
She
know
do
what
more. She did like quadruples. They can't even do quadruples. The entire history of skating. She did like 4-in-1 routine.
Yeah. No, but it's cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not performance enhancing.
Yeah, right.
Timeless says, haha, I gotta come back. Yes, you gotta come back on the show.
Yeah, we need Timeless back one day.
Speaking of the chat, so June's in Irvine right now, but from Santa Maria, grew up with Mark as the ref.
Yeah, I was the ref. Regulate.
Do they know you around these parts?
Yeah, hell yeah. There's a
slightly.
lot of people. Like, it surprises me because I've known Zap for a while, but I didn't grow up here, so I didn't grow up with him.
Right, neither did I, yeah.
And so hanging out with him, there's different people that know him from so many different walks of life. And every once in a while, you just get a, "What's up, coach?" It's like, oh, shit, I forgot.
Yeah.
Not to mention that
this
he's
fool's balls.
like the nicest guy out there. Like nobody has a beef with this guy. Like
Cheers to that on
cheers
drink
to that. I'm
drink,
serious.
drink champs too.
And let it
Hell
be
yeah,
known,
here's my
like,
Nori.
I'm
Hell
sure
yeah.
all the DJs out there are watching. Like you know how much this guy this guy's like the chillest
I have seen it. I have seen it firsthand, where DJs need a microphone or a mic cable or their stylus broke or
up lights.
yeah, up lighting. I got no lights. Someone stole my headphones. You know,
Yeah.
I've seen Zap come through for a lot of different people. Just, you know, I need an auxiliary cord or I need.
Thank you for that, but we're interviewing
cable.
Flashback today, so
know,
let's
but-
get back.
but
You know,
he's- hey,
thank you.
Flashback is
Sorry,
giving you,
guys.
Flashback's giving you your flowers right now, so I'm just,
Yes,
you
I
know,
appreciate that. Now I gotta tell you, because I did prepare one question today. So one of my first times I seen Flashback was before I met you. Actually, I went to your MySpace page. Right. For those of you watching at home
Drop it,
that
son. Drop
have
it.
no
I'm
idea,
excited to hear
who
this
have
now.
who have no idea what MySpace
He
is,
just
right?
brought up MySpace.
Right, where people say, oh, you know, they need a page where you could go, and when you land there, like on Instagram, it plays whatever
Yeah.
song. Right, that's MySpace.
So
Yeah.
Zap was checking out your top 8.
Yeah, no. What I was checking out was I would go on Flashback's MySpace page, and it would play a mix, and the first 2 songs it was Lisa and Sherelle, correct? Or
Yeah,
Sherelle,
yeah,
Lisa.
yeah.
It was like, I don't know what that mix was called, whatever it was called, but
It was actually a snippet of one of my mixes from when I started on Mega 97.1 here back in when I was like 15.
there you go. So
it's a nice segue, I guess, into that.
yes, and we're gonna get into that. And when I heard that, I said, oh, I see what's happening here. Like I totally got it, right? And I was like, okay, I have to remember. Then I said, well, his name is Flashback. And then, because I do my research on every DJ every day, and then included in that, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm very good at mixing up one story for one person, another story for another person. So,
Not you.
and movies like Clerks, and then you ran outside, and we saw it on the video camera. But and then I read about the F in the story. So
Right.
for those, you will have to say that in English for Kiko, which is DF, which is
Mexico City.
Mexico City. Right. So tell
Yeah.
us about that. That's where I want to kind of like. That's where it
Well,
starts for me.
my time in Mexico City was just mostly when I was a kid. I was only there for 3 years.
Right.
Because I originally was born in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And then I was raised in Santa Barbara. Then I moved here eventually.
Right.
But no, I was in Mexico City because my parents, things were looking up in the 90s, and we're like, oh, we'll go to Mexico. You get more purchasing power for your money.
Right.
Then the currency crashed, and then we came back after 3 years. That's honestly the end of it. But for growing up there, that's kind of what got me into DJing and all that.
Right.
A little bit.
All right. And then, so at 15, you're DJing on Mega.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So how does that happen when you're 15? How did you make that connection? How did that work? What got you into DJing, and I know you
Well,
said.
my dad was a DJ back in the 80s.
Right.
But he didn't do it for like a long time. He only did it for like 3-4 years. So he knew like basic how to mix and records and all that, you know.
He's
Was it in Santa Barbara?
No, this is in Mexico City.
Oh, okay.
right. Okay.
And when we
I was
lived
about
in
to ask his name.
Yeah. Well,
No,
do you have
he
a
didn't have a DJ name, no.
DJ? What's your dad's name?
Ricardo. Is it the same as me?
Ricardo.
Yeah.
Ricky. Ricardo.
Yeah.
I'm sure I got family in Mexico watching, and they're probably,
Hola.
not-
Saludos.
Hola. Or they're watching on the replay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yay.
No, but
Shout out to everybody watching the replay.
Yeah.
We love you.
But where was I?
Subscribe.
Talking about-
You were talking about you
Mega.
wanted people in Mexico to subscribe.
yes, that too.
Hit
But
the
before
button.
that,
Hit the
Pega,
bell.
pega la campana.
yeah.
There you go.
Taco Bell sound effect. Dong. How do you do it? There you go. Thank you.
No, but tell us about that. Tell us how you ended up at Mega and how
No,
that-
so
yeah.
so my dad was a DJ back in the 80s. I didn't get to see him actually DJ, but he still had his old turntables up at my grandparents' house in Mexico, and he had them all the way at like 3rd floor or whatever.
Right.
This big old room, and my dad he does cabinets, like that's his thing. That's what he does in business right now. Like he
Okay. All
does
right.
carpentry, builds cabinets, kitchens, and all that. But back then, he would have that whole room that used to be his old bedroom. He had them filled with a bunch of cabinets, but he also had this one cabinet, which was where he had the music. And
Right.
he would put on like Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. That one I remember vividly because it had like the RSO label on it with
Yeah.
the little
with the little pig
cow
or
with the,
cow, whatever. Yeah.
And I would just sit there and listen to the music, but watch the record just spin. And I don't know what it was. It was like hypnotizing or something, but I just watched it spin, and I don't know, like I was just drawn by it.
Right on. Right
And
on.
then, well, fast forward, growing up, you know, obviously technology evolves. People are using, you know, they start using CD players now.
Right.
And that's kind of how I started. You know, I saved enough money, got myself a little rack mount CD player,
Right.
and this is around the time I was in junior high. Come the junior high dances, they had this DJ, and he came with like wax. This is like still 2004, 2005.
Right.
He came with pure wax and, you know, the 12s and a mixer. And I was that kid, you know, standing next to the DJ, watching the DJ while everyone else was having fun or whatever.
Yeah.
I was just there, just watching the DJ.
Totally
And
relate.
watching the, you know, just fixated on the records he would play.
Yeah.
That's how I remember the Party Bangers little LPs that
Right,
they have.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember the DJ played, was it New Shoes I Can't Wait, and it had like, I remember the Party
Like
Bangers
there's a label on it.
remix service
yeah.
of the vinyl. And I remember I looked for that record for so long and never ended up finding it, but I'm sure
Well,
now
we have a
it's-
gift for just
Is this a Nardwar interview?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
What do you think about?
That's famous.
What do you
No,
think about
so-
the evaporator?
Well, anyway,
No,
so eventually moving into high school, that's when I eventually started getting serious, saving my
and were
money.
you in Santa Barbara or were
No,
you
this
here?
is
Oh,
now I was
now
here.
you're
Now I was
okay.
here.
All right.
And now starting in high school, I was like, no, I want to get turntables. You know, I want
Right.
to get, you know, a nice setup of 12s and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember my parents would look through the Pro Sound catalog with me, and even they were like, well, what about these like $300 like Stantons or whatever? And I remember I'm like, nope, it's got to be these 1200s. It's got to be these 12s.
All right.
Well, this new mark looks just
Yeah,
like this.
exactly. It was
It
the
looks
same
very
thing.
much
Yeah.
the same.
No, I'm like, nah. It's like, I know it's like,
Right.
it sounds crazy, but trust me, it's got to be these.
Yeah.
And eventually it happened. So by junior year, I ended up getting my tables. And that was around the time, you know, everybody was getting into Serato. So I still have my SL1 box
All
from
right.
2008.
Shout out to the SL.
Yeah, those are valuable right now. Keep track of keep those. No one wants to get rid of those right now. Yeah.
So
Remember, everybody wanted to get rid of them. I'm
yeah,
trying to
no, the little
upgrade.
black box. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it funny has DJ Shop logo. Shout out to Adept Events, Johnny.
Yeah, shout out to Adept Events.
Hit it. Bam.
Bam. Shout out to
So
Adept
you
Events.
called it out.
Yeah.
So shout out to
Yeah.
our sponsor, Adept.
Adapt and
So-
shout out to our other sponsor, Micheladas Matacrudas 805
We're
from
doing shout outs.
Pyroots and Salinas.
And everywhere between us. MMC 805.
Yeah. All right.
Which I had earlier today because I needed a
You needed a
mata
Matacruda?
Matacrudas.
Well, you're doing a little hair of the dog right there.
This is something different. This is,
okay.
All our viewers in Mexico are like,
this is after a long day.
they're like, oh, mata crudas.
Kill that hangover.
Right?
Anyways, let's continue.
Yeah, go on.
No, so how I got on the radio was eventually that's how I met Soul, by going to the Abel Maldonado Center when I was in high school.
Shout out to DJ Soul.
Yeah, shout out to Soul. I'm sure he's probably watching somewhere, or he'll watch on the replay. And he did the thing at the Maldonado Center, and I remember some dude in high school told me about it. He's like, they got a DJ club at the Maldonado Center, and I'm like, no, it's Santa Maria. This is not possible, Yeah. And lo and behold, I went one day, and he was there, 1200s. The Rain 57 has just come out.
Oh, nice.
And
classic right there.
Yeah, I remember seeing Serato for the first time and thinking, oh my God, it was like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So, fast forward the following year, that's when I finally got the 12s. I got Serato, the SL1 box, and, I was like, well, I know how to mix and everything, and I listened to a lot of old school. That's how I kind of got the name Flashback, and for anybody asking.
How did you get the name Flashback? No.
Yeah. That's pretty much why. It was just because, Soul had seen me play a bunch of... Because I would go and all the other kids would they play hip hop or whatever, and then I'd go into Soul's crates and be like, in Serato and be like, oh, this old school plot, this old school joint, and I'll pull out like the old '80s disco joints, and and even he was like surprised. He's like, all this? I was like, it was like, you like house music? Like, I caught him off guard.
Right on.
So I found out that Soul was doing this gig on Wild at the time. He was doing the 5 o'clock traffic jam, and kind of like you reached out, when you saw me on MySpace. That's how I first found out of Soul, and then I met him a couple weeks later. And he told me that, a little bit of how radio works and how mixes work. So I remember seeing Butter was on the beat, Soul's on Wild, and I'm like, well, I remember Mega had just come on, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just shoot him an email. Like, they had like this little basic website or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shoot him an email. I'll upload a mix I made. It was like 20 minutes. I sent it in, and, hey, to whom it may concern, your program director, I'm so-and-so. Would love, if you could at least, take your time to listen to this mix. If not, no big deal. Much appreciated, all that. Fast forward like a month later, I hear back. I get a reply back, and they're like, yeah. It's like, and it was a guy by the name of Louis Cruz, who now I think programs up in Sacramento, I think.
Okay, all right.
He was the program director for Mega and for Groove 99.3 out in Bakersfield at the time.
Okay.
And he told me, he's like, I want you on Mega, and I also want you to mix on Groove on the weekends. So that's how that whole started at 15.
All right. How did that feel?
Well, I mean, it was all pre-recorded. I was sending it in. Like, I was doing it, during the week.
Did you go tell the people at school? Did you go to school?
Oh,
and
totally.
They're like,
you're like, that's me. They're like, no, it's not.
But it was hard because, the show was on like Saturday nights. And come on, try to get your friends, convince your friends to listen to you late on a Saturday night, you know?
I remember those nights too. Coming up in radio and having to do that and having to be there.
Right.
Even though, well, we did live mixing, but after a while, it was like we switched it over to pre-recorded stuff. So it still felt like I was giving up like every weekend. You know, try to do that, try to get people to listen. People wouldn't believe me. See me out like that's not you.
It's not until they actually listen to you that they realize like
I had to give people like direct shout outs.
For them to believe.
Yeah. Shout out to Maria and her girls who was listening last night. We was hanging out at such and such.
Yeah.
The Maverick or at Stinky's or whatever, and then I'd get a call like, "Oh my God, that really was you!" Like, man,
but see, that's the thing though. Like when you were doing it, like that's what people love to hear. And I feel like that's kind of what sometimes I feel like in radio is a bit lost. It's like be a little bit more personable out there.
Right.
We're all human beings, so it's like the best way to relate to another human being is by being as personable as you can be.
Yeah, tell them.
Hola. I think.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way.
Yeah.
The thing that.
Shout out to Tyler.
I really don't like about radio is.
Sophia's out there somewhere. I know she is. Tony Fuse.
I think that it's too formulaic because it's been around for a long, long time, and it's evolved just like music and just like anything else. And it's kind of the way people feel about baseball now, right? It's too formulaic. Like there's too many analytical numbers being thrown out that it's this and that.
Like
you know what I mean?
percentages,
So like percentages like Moneyball. So
Yeah.
all that speaks volumes now to get the win, but it takes the edge, the bravado out of the sport. And so the same thing is happening with radio, where it's like radio can be so commanding, and then at the same time it can be so just distant and just so far from its audience that it doesn't, you know what I mean? And with, you know, limitations, it could work with you and it could work against you.
Right. So
back when we were started, because I started in 2004, so same time frame, it was the wherever you got music from was limited. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The internet wasn't like
The
such
powers
a big
that
thing,
be, you got it from
right?
the powers that
So
be.
you got it from radio, or you went to the store and you bought CDs, or you bought tapes, or you bought
even the records.
albums.
Even, yeah.
You know what
If
I
you're a
mean? Like
DJ.
you went that way. So it's not like now, where now there's so many unlimited sources where you
Right.
can get it.
From
And you
YouTube
can
to
just-
Spotify.
Right.
and
So many
Apple,
websites, the
podcasting.
internet, and just even more. So it's really kind of like what you do, putting in a piece of your soul, your heart into, you know, be it your mix or your show or
Exactly.
whatever, that's going to drive that.
And that's
You know.
the radio. So jumping forward, I'm gonna skip time and then we'll go back into
no
the
problem.
DJ piece. But
Right.
radio piece. Right now, you're still in radio. You've been in radio
Right.
that entire time, right?
I mean, pretty much, yeah. I mean, but now more or less, yeah, in a full-time capacity, yeah.
right now, and I don't know if you're allowed to say the call letters or what. You are on our show, obviously, but sometimes
Yeah,
we don't know. Sometimes they might say, "Hey, remember in Flashback we said don't say our call letters."
Well,
KZAP.
No, it's all good.
All right. So
We're
right,
not on the radio.
right?
We're
And
not.
You never know. Sometimes they call me and they'll say,
Man, fuck that shit. We ain't on the radio.
"Oh,
No,
God
we're
dang
not.
it! God dang it! Gosh darn it!" No, so
Man.
tell us now where, how has it changed and where you're at now, and what it's been quite a while. So what have you picked up and what have you learned and what have you're like, I think I mastered this piece, but I'm still learning this piece every day. Where is it they find you right now? For the people that don't know, I'm always for like the folks that don't know. I mean,
What's that?
you know, like what station are you at right now? Stations, because I
Yeah.
don't think it's just one, right? So
No, it's actually several. Everybody usually knows. No, no. That's not what I meant.
Several.
what club are you at? I'm like
more
I'm
than
not
just
club.
one.
Like,
No. No, so
Motherfucking flashback, okay?
Yeah.
Let me
What
tell
part
you
of Flash?
something. You
to the
gonna
back?
learn today.
Learn today. Flashback. Spell it again. FLASHBACK.
That's his next DJ drop.
man.
Just say that. You saw it here first.
I gotta rewatch that. Get my Suge Knight on. No, kidding.
The West Coast don't have love.
No. So right now I'm doing afternoons on Wild.
Okay. All right.
And yeah, contrary to what people believe, we're actually live. We're live again. Like we're
Awesome.
doing live radio.
Okay.
It's so
Oh wow.
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
we got live radio in the mornings and now live radio in the afternoons. And then also I do a midday shift on our alternative station because we have an alternative station in
Right,
the cluster,
right.
Alt 100.9. And that one I'm programming. So that one I'm actually doing the
That
programming work
you're
for.
in charge of. So if me and
So
Kiko
the
drop,
music
if we
and
drop a
sweepers,
single, we know
but-
who to send it to because
There
we're
you
like we know the
go.
program.
And it will be alternative.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mexican American.
You know, it's got censored.
So,
That's all.
uh,
FCC.
You know,
All right. Right.
taking on those two different titles from mixer to programming. I mean, that's
Oh yeah, it's. I will say this one thing, and I guess one thing that I really enjoyed is the commonality that radio and kind of DJing, they still go a little bit hand in hand. They involve music, they involve some sort of programming. Like, I mean, even when we go out and DJ, we got to program our sets and we got to read the crowd and see what's going to work.
Right.
Versus, I guess.
Is that what I'm doing wrong?
Say that again so Kiko hears that.
No.
You mean I got to come in with some sort of plan?
Kiko's like in that.
No, but again,
he's
it's
in that
like,
David Guetta mode.
No, but
I ain't playing nothing that no one wants. I'm playing whatever Kiko the hell wants, and then I'm staring blankly into the screen.
Right? I'm that Cheeto wondering why nobody wants to dance with Daddy Yankee. The old shit.
Nah, but like sometimes with everything, you got to take a risk, you got to throw it out there and see how people respond,
Yes.
And obviously that's reflected on ratings and all of the sorts. And like Zap said, or like Kiko said earlier, I'm sorry, I'm getting both of y'all mixed up. What?
That's right. Yeah.
No, but like Kiko mentioned earlier, like nowadays it's like we got so many
Sources.
Numbers and algorithms thrown out there that it's like you don't. It's a lot of info to take in that, you've got to almost take it in with a grain of salt.
Do you catch yourself? Okay, so like at Wild, you're doing the music piece, right? And host like in afternoons, but at 100.9.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you got it. You got it.
I forgot. You're doing the program. Do you catch yourself like? On the programming side, I want to do this, although it's alt in it versus what you would do in the afternoon.
You mean like, do I like as a programmer, do I throw like my own little personal flair when I program music?
Yeah.
I think all program directors do to a certain degree, because I mean, obviously, in a way, our musical tastes and the way we perform our duties shows up whether you realize it or not.
Right.
Like even when we DJ, like we all DJ a certain way, and sometimes we like to throw songs that we are familiar with.
Return of the Mac. No, just kidding.
No, but like that we're familiar with, that we like, that we know that works on the dance floor. You know what I mean? So we'll play those more than the songs that might work on the dance floor, but you say personally might not like.
Just like in the middle of a set when this guy hits me up with Jetty 6ix9ine or
Feel My Love.
Von Mason,
Feel My Love. Von Mason, Feel My Love, or Jenny 6ix9ine.
He knows where he's going with this. It's gonna be one way or another.
I'm gonna have to make an edit of that. Right now.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be the next one.
There's just numbers that come out. They've done this. They've tracked it. You go off people's times. I got to be at work by 9. I got to be at work by 8. I got to be at work by 7. So what time they're in the car? What's their average listening time?
Yeah.
Who are we targeting?
Oh,
18 to 50, 18 to 24. Like, I mean, there's so many charts, so many different variables that go into it.
Did you ever get to see the book when you were?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Remember, like,
there's a book?
No, like, I remember they used to come out with like a big old like thing.
It's a ratings book that they go through, and they send it to a certain amount of people throughout the community, and then you basically take a week and you go, well, I listened from this time to this time.
Right.
You know what I mean? I listened to this station, this time to this time.
They sent it to you in the mail with $1. Please complete this one.
Which,
when I was a kid, me and my brother used to go through the shout out to my brother Jesse during those days, and we're like, they sent the dollar mail today, so we go through.
Wow.
Just kidding. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Hit the alleged button.
All the neighbors.
So, there's a lot. The first 20 minutes of the hour, what you should be playing, and blah, blah, blah. And so it gets frustrating, especially if you're a DJ who wants to fly off the cover. You know what I mean? Like
creative freedom.
Like at the beat, we had so many DJs that came from all different backgrounds to try to get them to all come and play our playlist, our format, what we're doing. And it's like, well, I want to.
Would they have DJ meetings? DJ meetings?
You're referring to, are you referring to actual jocks or actual mixers?
Mixers.
Okay.
Mixers, right?
Okay.
But I mean,
is there a line between?
At the same
since
time,
I have you guys here, I'm going to ask all the radio questions that the fans at home want to know. Is there a line between the jocks and the mixers?
Well, because a jock is like what we're doing, like we're talking on the mic,
right.
Like that's all we do. But mixer actually, doing the mix.
At the same time, you have to be aware of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's why people ask, like, damn, you guys play this song all the time. Well, yeah, because average listening time is about 15 minutes.
Right.
Oh yeah,
In
people
the car, and
people have
so-
short attention spans.
So
Like,
people want to hear this hit song, this new, whatever.
Right.
So
I mean, sometimes I'm sure you guys have probably caught yourself subconsciously doing it if you're ever listening to just the radio.
Yep.
Where you have your finger on your presets, and there's a song that comes on, the commercials come on. All right, I'll switch to the next one. I mean,
I'm
that's how it works.
heavy into dash radio because my antenna's small, so I don't pick up a lot of local stations.
Right.
It's like barely hanging on.
Doesn't help that we're surrounded by a bunch of hills.
Right. Every car wash, that antenna is just like it comes up. It's like it's pretty bad. But so I use Dash Radio as a streaming app. But I've noticed that even then with a huge bank of songs, it's still like after a while I gotta change it. It's like, oh man, I hear the same thing every day.
Right.
At work, we go through some playlist system where it's like 80s adult,
Orange
80s
radio
party,
or whatever the
90s,
so like for the
right.
the office.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you go through that, but after working there 6 hours, you're like,
Oh yeah, you get brain.
dude, I've already heard this song already. During Christmas time was savage. Christmas time.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
At work was just like,
Because there, it's like you got to go through like 10 versions of Jingle Bells and 5 versions of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Right.
it used to be Harry Connick Jr. Now it's what's his face, Josh whatever, his the smooth voice, right? So
It's funny, my mom loves him.
it's crazy. Like every other song was this dude. I was like, oh my god, enough already.
Josh Groban?
Is that his name?
I
Yeah,
think that might
so.
be it. Yeah, I think you're
No.
correct.
What I wanted to ask you, going back to pandemic days and stuff, you were still working, and when people started switching to Twitch, you guys were on it, you Timeless, and
Yeah, we did that
You
for,
know,
for a minute, yeah.
right?
But actually, I'm trying to think, how did we actually start? I think we actually started with by the way, shout out to Anthony behind the controls.
Aunt G.
Genius.
Ant Genius.
Aunt Genius. I don't know. We never have a Aunt G logo. That's, I don't know.
I think we
do have
just
the
need to invest
Markov.
in the Aunt G cam.
Yeah,
That's what we need to do.
have
We need an Aunt G cam.
We do
to
have
just,
Markov, which is the seed of Aunt G, we call it.
well, I think this is a combination now,
It's
right?
a combination,
It's
right?
a combination.
there
Yeah.
you go.
It's a small family business. You know what I mean?
family business
So-
right there. Speaking of small, mini Flashback and mini Kiko.
There we are.
All right. Let's move on.
For the folks watching us in
Right.
who don't have their
Wonka vision.
upscale, their HD upscalers
Right.
yet.
Yeah. To the
Watching us on CRT right now.
So, one of the things that I noticed now that we're out of that, we're getting back to normal. You know, the mask mandate is ending through California. Things are slowly coming back to what normal is, and I don't think we'll ever be at what normal was.
No.
But one thing that, a lot of people either went live and took to it, streaming live and doing that,
right.
every day or every whatever set schedule. A lot of the DJs need, I need to get to work. I don't have time to find subscribers and get monetized and live off bits and cheers and subscription.
Everything
you know what I
else,
mean, right? So one thing I have noticed is that you stay heavy on Mixcloud.
Yeah, I mean, mostly because before I used to, I don't know if even he remembers, I used to post my mixes up on SoundCloud, because
Yes.
back then, remember
Right.
SoundCloud used to
that was
go
pretty much
everywhere
the only place where you could do that, really.
at
Yeah,
the time.
the-
It wasn't until Mixcloud, I think, came out in like 2010 or something like that, and I think until now, barely DJs have started catching up with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But before that was SoundCloud prior, right?
Yeah, but I mean, with SoundCloud, we just kept having the problem with all the takedowns and everything. And
Yeah.
Mixcloud, luckily, I mean, they've been great, like from day one,
I
pretty
think,
much.
I think that's what they targeted. Like, let's get our DJs a place to upload their mixes.
Fun fact, they're out of London,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. See?
Shout out
So-
to London.
so
Shout
they're
out to
doing
London.
it. They're doing it out for the DJ culture, not
Yeah.
just there, but around
Shout out
the
to
world.
London. That's about my as good as I get.
But
to your
I mean, I have a Mixcloud, and I did put up a couple mixes, and I try to as far as the mixes that I put on, I mean, I'm not the smoothest mixer. I'm just going off Virtual DJ. Shout out to Virtual DJ. We're looking for sponsors. We're shouting out everybody. But, you know, I recorded it here, and I put it on, right? And I felt good, and I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I want to keep putting up mixes because I was getting some honest feedback about my stuff, right? And then I looked at some of my peers, people that I know that have mixes on, and I'm just like, they kind of just overdid it, right? Just kind of just kept coming out with stuff, But at the same time, you get these alerts. So if you followed somebody, you'll get an alert saying, hey, they just uploaded a new mix.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, cool, because then it's a break that you get from your normal schedule, right? Your normal listening patterns or whatever. Like, I'm pretty much giving up on, you know, anything. I just Spotify shit now, and even then, like, I'm like. But
you still have mixes on Mixcloud.
I still get alerts. That's what I'm saying.
So you're putting them up. How often are you putting?
Well, actually, I've been putting them up every week because I do a mix on Alt now.
Right.
On
okay.
The Freaky Friday mix with Davinia.
Oh, okay.
Who's our afternoon gal there at the station.
Okay.
So. Who's also from the UK.
Shout out to Davinia. All right.
This whole episode is gonna be brought to you by All Things UK.
Yeah.
I swear.
Don't worry. Pretty soon we're gonna from
the U.S. to the White Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah, I was gonna say this background's gonna change.
No,
it's gonna be.
Don't worry, we're gonna transition pretty soon to the Krayshawn remix and Frankenstein remixes that I have questions about. But we're preparing for that because that's important, right? See I have some secret questions for you. People are like, Krayshawn, what does that have to do with DJ Flashback? We're gonna talk. He knows. See, I know he knows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You segued. You might as well just go with it now.
All right. What do you want? Where are we going?
I wanted to talk because at one point you started doing. I know this for sure because I would rip them if they weren't available yet. Like when they were, I think you guys they were being uploaded to Sound we were SoundCloud at the very beginning.
You're referring to like the This Bangs remix.
The This Bangs remixes, right? Because This Bangs, I know around here a lot of folks are like, well, that's they see it maybe a DJ crew or merch or whatever, but. At the beginning, it was you released a series of remixes and you did them, right?
Along with Soul. Shout out to Slick in the chat, by the way.
Yes. Oh, shout out to Slick. Hey.
Yeah, sorry, I know I wanted to keep up on the chat. So.
Yes, and the first release was Krayshawn.
No.
Or was it? What was it?
No, it was Chris Brown's "Beautiful People."
Okay.
And that was actually
that
was 10 years ago.
Okay, so we're flashing forward back. Yeah. so
I want to go back in time.
So tell us about that and how that got to be. And
so I knew like when I just got out of high school, I was I'd found out about this program called Ableton Live, and I wanted to get into like producing and everything because I was into like a lot of the EDM stuff at the time. I was playing all the DJ Chucky and David Guetta.
We were talking about pre-show really quick. We were talking about a playlist and I was like, Flash has to have a play, whether it's a.
See, if only the decks were set up, but I know. Anyways,
if only.
Anyways, so no, the way that whole thing started with production, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue on how to do it. I still technically don't. I just went out and started, tackling
That's when it's the best, isn't it?
And even if it was only like 10 tracks on the little multi-track program or whatever, while all these big producers have like 500 of them in one session, I'm just like. But no,
their own drum patterns,
the reason I did that was because I realized everybody could DJ, and I wanted to set myself apart from everybody else.
Right.
So I was like, well, I can see people making edits. Why not, maybe tackle and do like either some original stuff or maybe like some remixes.
Yeah.
So I started doing like some remixes on like my own and things like that, like under a pseudonym or whatever. Because I don't know, I wanted to keep it all like secret and everything.
There was a pseudonym? I wonder, what was it?
Which one?
Well, I know one of them had to be like was like a Frankenstein.
No. I'll explain the Frankenstein thing. Yeah.
See, the top secret. He has a Marcus Midnight as well, right? That's so. Tell me, because I will tell you, I still play the Taylor Swift "Shake It Off" remix from that group all the time. I play, and it still hits. Like I should one time video everybody, and it's. And there's all about
the "You Don't Even Know Me" beat.
Yeah, and there's all about that bass in that. I'm giving away I don't like to name the songs because then I'm giving away my DJ secrets and people are going to go look for them and I have them.
DJ secrets,
right?
So
I also play the DJ Soul Billie Jean Go Girl.
Oh yeah, talk about that. I know what Butter was talking about that. Yeah, shout out to Butter.
But tell us about that. Tell us about that.
No, so I mean,
I think Zap's black. Are you blushing right now? You like, oh man.
I never give
it up your.
I don't name those two songs because I play them all the time.
Dropping your sources.
Yeah.
Right
Hey, go to a wedding, watch. I woke up too late. That's what people say. They're gonna copyright strike us for.
Right? How you know it by heart?
Yeah,
that's how much he plays it.
Yeah.
But tell us about that. You're doing Ableton.
Yeah, so I mean, I honestly had no idea what I was doing, but I mean, I made it sound decent, got the counting right, I guess, and I mean, I sent it off to. I remember I showed it to Soul, and Soul was like, "Well, actually, this sounds not bad,"
Right.
And we had the idea. I'm like, why don't we like go get together? I'll do the producing, and since Soul had the name out there already, like since he's the marketing guy, I figured we'll make the remixes and he can do the marketing and push them out there,
right,
and we can make more and do all that. Problem is just producing is not what it seems, and shout out to Angie's son Isaiah because he is one talented dude, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Isaiah.
He is.
Once again,
he's making our talkover beats.
That's what you hear in the background is Isaiah. Yeah. We'd like to say one day it was Kiko, but it definitely is not Kiko or myself. That's Isaiah. Yeah,
but
man.
Then
the best I can do is.
Tyler says, ask him about the Kill Bill edit.
But nobody wants to talk over that.
Tell us about
Kill
the Kill
Bill
Bill
edit.
No, so that was because
Right.
before the whole Disbanks thing, I was making my own like personal mashups and edits. Soul
Right.
was doing it, Butter was doing it,
Right.
and I was like, well, to differ your sets from everybody else's, you make your own edits, and you test them out. And I remember I did one with like Flo Rida's whistle, and it had that Kill Bill whistle, and it was like some dance song that was big in Europe or whatever.
I would play it, but I don't want to get flagged.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
we could play it, but
It's okay. But
yeah.
But for some reason, I guess, and shout out to Timeless, because I remember I said it to Timeless, and I think at first he told me, he's like, man, it's all right, whatever. But then I think we played it at a gig, and it went off.
Yeah.
And ever since then,
Right.
it's like, oh, cool. But I remember for the longest time, I lost that edit. And I remember seeing on Tyler's laptop, he had it.
Oh.
And I asked him for it back because I had lost the original version of it.
Right.
So shout out to Timeless because he's the reason the Kill Bill edit is still alive.
It's still
to this
alive,
day.
right? There you go. And that grew and evolved, right? Is what I guess.
So when you with a program like Ableton, you have like these virtual instruments and everything. So I was just messing around with cracked software. I know. Allegedly.
We never said that.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know who the makers. I don't know if it's still around or not.
Right.
But I need a beat machine.
But no, so
sponsors.
So I was just I was making edits. I was poor, underage. Okay. I think I deserve a pass for being underage.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been past 7 years, so go ahead.
There you go. The statute of limitations is expired.
Yeah.
No, but
So you try to play it on YouTube.
No, so I would try, and I'm not like musically, I know basic stuff.
Right, but you know what you want to hear.
But I'm no wizard like at the piano. So
Yeah.
the problem I had when it came to production is just execution, like getting it all together to work. And it wasn't until I saw like, people like Isaiah or, like our old buddy Roy. You remember Roy Orion?
Yeah.
Shout out to Roy.
Yeah, shout out to Roy.
I remember going to Roy's house for the first time because he's like, yo, come over. We'll work on a remix, whatever. Cool. Go to his house. Oh, my God. This dude was like a genius compared to me when it came to Ableton. And I'm just sitting back letting him do all the work. And I'm like, I felt so bad because we worked on this remix, but it's like he did most of the work.
You're pulling your
and I felt bad because I was almost gonna,
ghost producing.
But I was almost gonna tell him like, yo, don't even credit me on it.
Right.
But if
you are, boom, boom.
Right?
Nah. But,
you know what would sound good if you put this right here.
Yeah.
I mean, I would try to like do things like that, and he had legit reasons why to tell me, oh man, maybe this will work, or maybe this won't work. So I mean, he knew his stuff, and he knows his stuff, and I mean,
but you brought the flashback ears to the to the set.
You need to bump that off somebody. You can't just.
That counts.
If you keep doing it by yourself, you're gonna find yourself getting into like a stalemate, like just finding like just. Kind of just going into your own, but
that's why producers
bringing in somebody else helps, even if they didn't touch the machine, didn't add anything, it's just bouncing it off here. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, that's why they have that version 2.2 final edit, total final, absolute version.
I thought only people in radio name things like that.
No, they name it that. They have like the same file 18 times, right?
Because that's what we do in radio. Because I handle all the production. So when we have clients come in, or they want their commercials voiced, it's like 4 revisions and then like 2 music changes, and it's nuts.
All of that.
But yeah, the struggle is real. You end up saving a bunch of things like that. You lose the final mix. And
true. Or the first one.
Yeah.
Man, the first mix. The first
one was the best
so
one.
Dope, and we made all these changes.
Or you could be me and just lose the whole project all completely, and DJ Timeless has the backup.
Oh, there you go. The Kill Bill. The Kill Bill.
Shout out Timeless again.
Yeah.
Shout out Timeless for the Kill Bill, because now I'm playing it like everywhere now.
Yeah. That's why we do it live here on YouTube on the Mixtape podcast.
Right?
Oh, did
weekend,
you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, it's got to be good that you had your guys' crew, everybody kind of learning and doing at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Butter, Soul,
right? And the cool thing is once we were doing the little remixes and everything. That's kind of around the time where we linked up with Alex and and the whole crew there, and Danny, and we met everybody, and they would come out to Ranch. You
mean Hurricane
Worldwide?
Hurricane Worldwide. We're not sure if he's watching, but I'll tell him.
Shout out to Hurricane.
Flashback's on the show. Why didn't you watch? We mentioned you.
Love Hurricane.
Subscribe.
No, but you know what I mean. Like
me,
we were all doing all the like electronic parties, and they were doing all the shows at Avila, and EDC was a big thing. So it was a perfect time for us to kind of branch out, and we were like, well, why don't we turn this not just into just us doing remixes? Let's do it beyond that, because we wanted to do apparel and do like a whole brand, and it was like, well, all right, well, let's go do that, and then. We brought on a lot of people that came on board with us. I mean, we had Butter on board. We had obviously Soul.
Yep.
I mean,
FaZe. I think
FaZe, Oso,
Cure,
Roy, Cure, Hurricane. Like, I mean, it was a whole group, and we all were coming out to each other's gigs. We were all showing each other love, and I mean, like with all things, we all had priorities change, and we all drift apart from time to time. But I mean, we had some amazing times together, and we threw some pretty cool shows, like the massive we threw at the Filipino Center.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that. That was a fun night, and it was thanks to everybody that came out that day and all the DJs that threw down. Like, it was a phenomenal night. Shout out to everybody.
I think we need another massive.
I think we do.
Yeah, really do. People just need to just forget their inhibitions and just let loose, let their hair down. Everyone's been so wound up lately. That's another story. We'll get to that.
But also, to add further to the production, sure, I maybe, I'm not really bummed that I didn't get to, produce as much as I wanted to. I could still learn and everything. It's just gonna take me a while or whatever. But shout out to Butter, shout out to Soul, and even Cure, all the remixes they were putting out on DJ City and all that, all the love they were getting from not just us DJs here, but like worldwide, basically.
Right.
Well, I think people's learning and doing and putting that on, people change. People's focus change. But one thing you guys really did that I was always jealous of was This Bangs Radio.
Oh, the show.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that was like...
Because episodes, how many episodes in, or are I don't know if it's still around, but I know that
it is. I'm not hosting it anymore.
At one point, you were hosting it up to what episode were you the
Well,
host?
because we did it in different phases. So the first phase was...
shout out to DJ Phase.
Yeah.
Wow. And the company phase,
right?
DJ.
Phase,
oh, yeah.
The phases.
Yeah.
Right.
We love those things. Those be nice to have here.
We hate needles.
You
looking
don't,
for
you don't have a pair
sponsors.
yet? You don't have a pair of the phase yet?
No, actually, I could tell you that on Wednesday night at midnight, I was helping, right before I went to go see Kiko, I was helping DJ Icon set up his phases, and it worked. I set them up like in 5 minutes because I had worked with Phase and Echo on their phases.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised they're actually pretty easy to like set up and everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back and do just some vinyl stuff at home on the turntables.
You're trying to flashback.
Shout out Leo in the chat.
What's up,
Said, What's
DJ
up,
Leo?
guys?
What's up, DJ Leo?
Hey man, shout out to Leo though, because he was during the pandemic, like we all did the Super Saturday Raid Train, and he was a big part of that. So and he even invited us several times. We had the barbecue over at his house and all that, and we were just kicking it, and having a great time. So
yeah, and Leo still shows up on my Twitch.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Leo's still doing his thing on Twitch, and that's dope.
It's kind of weird. I mean, it's not weird, but seeing it, how people like were going hard, and then they made the move, and then some went back. Like I know Facebook Live, like really, like it started out cool, and then it just kind of phased everybody out. Everybody was like, "Oh, we got to make a switch. We got to go somewhere else."
Well, I remember because you guys originally started on Facebook Live,
right?
In the
season one,
pandemic.
what we call season 1.
Oh, so that's what I was saying.
Zap's
so
house.
I didn't answer your question about This Bangs Radio.
It's all right.
So,
we try to get all over the place and then never come back.
This is what happens when you interview a radio person. This is,
Stories upon stories.
Keep going. So,
people,
but This Bangs Radio.
No, so we had the first show, and we did that on SoundCloud.
Right.
And that was the whole reason as to why we loved SoundCloud, yes.
Good Lord.
I wonder if the mic picked that one up.
I'm sure it did.
Cue the guy racing.
They heard us in Uruguay.
Well, normally we can't hear. I mean, it's very muffled, but that dude was loud right now.
He's still going at it. He knows we're here. Maybe that's what it is.
Right?
Watching cruise by.
Some arch nemesis of mine that I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from That Bangs.
Esto pega.
He's the boy bangs from remember that guy from what was it like
It
from the
Bangs.
Congo or something? What was that rapper the take you to the movies guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was like from Australia or something. I don't know. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so This Bangs was the first phase. We did it on SoundCloud, and we loved the response because SoundCloud was giving us all like a bunch of plays. We were
Views
like
and
coming
love.
up on all the like we were getting like thousands of plays.
Right.
And but we had to deal with the takedowns after a while. But we ended up doing like I want to say a good almost 200 shows in that first run.
Oh wow.
And then we got in a radio. Then we got picked up in Bakersfield, and that's when started phase 2.
Right, and that's.
And then that kind of fizzled out after a while. But we had a good run over in Bakersfield on Energy 95.3.
And that's also nice over there. Was doing some shows with you guys.
Oh, so
right?
Mighty, yeah.
Mighty.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
And
I'm
now,
messing up my
and now.
Oh, so damn it! I've screwed that one up.
But when, because.
Oh, so wrong.
So wrong.
Oh,
yeah.
so wrong.
Hey, shout out to Oso Mighty, man.
Shout
out to
DJ
Oso,
Mighty.
We'll edit that out. I'll just we'll just fix it.
Will we?
Sorry, Oso.
We probably won't. We don't have no
Love
editor.
you, man.
God dang it. If we have a video editor out there, we'll fix it.
Someday we'll edit it out.
Hey, you might get that video editor as a sponsor one day.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what we need.
We're about 160 shows in. It hasn't happened.
Let's do the Bill O'Reilly. Fuck it,
up
we'll
on
do it
YouTube.
live. Fuck it.
God damn it. We had one Oso to remember. We couldn't do it right.
Anyways, what was I saying?
Bangs Radio.
Bangs Radio.
Yeah, so on
Bakersfield.
So yeah, when
Energy.
they were doing it on Kelly, we had our boy Jogo, who now is in Vegas doing radio for Hot 97.5 out there.
Awesome.
Oh,
And he was doing it with Oso
okay.
Mighty, and they were doing the hosting, and then I would do, I'd fill in from time to time just because my workload was crazy, and because if the show was airing over there, and they were having us go from I think it was a 1 hour show to a 6 hour show.
Oh, damn.
On Saturday nights, and we were all like doing it, like we were all pulling through, like my boy Cal, me, Soul, Cure, I forget who else was on it.
Shout out to DJ Cal. I haven't seen you in a while, mijo. Shout out to DJ Cal.
But so we were doing that whole thing, and then that whole fizzled out. But then they're doing, basically this is round 3, and Soul and Oso are doing it together. So.
Right.
Nice.
So, and I think they just had they had Renrock on, I think, from Fresno. So
Right on.
I guess the best thing about this Bangs Radio for me was the fact that it was able to connect us with so many DJs,
Right.
not just here,
Yeah,
but
it was
all over the
the
world.
place.
Like we had Nick V from the Baker Boys be a guest. We had who did we have? I believe we had we had Eliza May, the Russian DJ.
Oh, okay. All right.
Who,
all right.
I guess she was at backstage not that long ago. I want to say a couple weeks ago. She was
She was there a couple weeks ago. I saw the video, and I followed her on Twitch for a long time. And
I remember she started doing out her routines like on YouTube and stuff. And I remember I reached out to her, and she was living in Russia at the time. And I'm like, would you like to, jump on, do a little set? And she's like, I'd love to. And she did like 4 mixes for us on that first round.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she did like 4 mixes, and she was still doing mixes for us when she moved to LA, because she ended up, I guess, getting in touch with like Qbert. Her story is like crazy. Like she ended up getting in touch with Qbert, meeting somebody from Thud Rumble. They ended up getting married, and now she lives in LA, and now she's a U.S. citizen. Okay, so it's crazy.
Well, like I said before, it's one of the things that I was like jealous of, because that programming allowed DJs to be themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you guys were all like-minded DJs, where it's kind of like I don't want to say EDM, but like dance music, up tempo, like
energy. It brought a lot of energy,
sure,
literally.
Right?
Yeah.
But the cool thing is we didn't just stick to dance music.
No, I know you did it, because I would tune in, I would listen, but you weren't restricted as if you were under some of the bigger radio heads,
right?
That,
exactly.
The bigger conglomerates that,
Oh yeah, when we were on SoundCloud, we had full on liberty on how we would take it on. But like I said, the biggest thing was meeting so many people and getting to hear so many talented DJs that they themselves are coming up.
Right.
Like Tyler just mentioned, like our dude Nunez out in Colorado. I mean, that's kind of how.
Okay.
Oh yeah, shout out to
Soul
Nunez.
went out to go perform over there, and we actually had Nunez come out here with us, and that's how we all met Cal. Like we all met Cal. Cal's up in Sonoma. And,
I was gonna say up north, right?
Yeah, up north, and he came down DJ with us a few times. I got to go DJ up there one time, and honestly, it was a real fun time. And also, dude Alex Roy from Florida. We had like DJs from Florida.
We have to draw a map and put all the DJs in it, and then do
we
the
had
shirt
Canadian
or something.
DJs,
and
Mexican
why you?
DJs.
Because,
yeah,
like I said, when the shackles are off, when you know what I mean, there's no PD screaming at you, "Don't play this song." You know what I mean? It's like
PD program director.
Here's your chance to put whatever you feel is fire out and run with it. And we're gonna play it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As a radio station, whatever. And that that's got to feel good for any DJ, because part of DJing and part of providing the soundtrack for the evening, there's a stress involved where you're like, man, I gotta please the client.
Right.
Be it a club night, be it a private party, be it a wedding, whatever. That's essentially that's your goal. I gotta please the client. But when you have something like that radio, it's you gotta please the client, but you also just gotta be true to yourself. Like, this is what makes me happy. This is what I try to get DJs when I talk to them. I try to get them to play like that. Play me what you're gonna play at your house when you go home tonight or whatever. I don't want to hear what you think I want to hear.
Right.
You know, just because I mean, you know, I'm older than you or whatever. Don't feel like you got to play my shit. Play your shit. Right. You know, or whatever. I've tried to like be that type of mentor to DJs that I've worked with, and I've worked with a lot because I MC for a lot of people that don't want to talk, that don't want to be on the mic.
Right, that's the thing. Not everybody feels comfortable being on the microphone.
So I don't mind working with a bunch of DJs, but when I hear stuff that's like, come on, dude, I know you didn't want to play that song. You know what I mean? But they played
You're only
it too.
doing it because K Diesel's around.
Right? It's like,
I guess it would kind of be like if you book like somebody that you know played EDM, and then they know they played Ain't No Fun, and then you're like, really? Like,
yeah. It would just be like,
which always happens when,
like, you know, the reason we booked you is because, you know, you're the nice EDM guy. Exactly. We like what you play. Go play that.
We like what you play. And
that's exactly like when we were doing the whole This Makes Radio thing. That's what we were telling DJs. We're like, look, just keep it to this time frame.
and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right on. And so, DJ wise, I know you even right now, you still do like private events. You're still doing, you know, and obviously you're getting paid for those. So you're playing what the client is requesting or and all that. But do you catch yourself like, do you still put a bit of yourself in those events, or are you just saying, hey, they're paying me, I'm not going to stray from the thing? Is that something that you're talking to them about and that type of thing? I'm kind of jumping subjects here, but part of it is
really.
because
I mean,
I want to cover that too. So, I mean...
Well, I mean, obviously, yes, you want to cater to the client, of course. But I don't think I've ever been in a situation, at least not yet, where, like, say at a wedding where, you know, the client says... absolutely not, don't play like any music that's XYZ, and it's all dance music, and play you know some stuff that nobody's gonna dance to.
Right.
I mean, I've heard it happen to people before.
Right.
But I would feel like, you know, if somebody hires me for my services and they expect a dancing portion in their event, well, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna read the crowd. And then, yeah, sure, maybe I'll throw a little personality in there. And from what I think, from judging by my perspective on what I think the crowd wants, cool. But if it's, obviously, if I had to choose out of A, B, and C, the song that I like the most to play, that I know all three of them are going to work, but I like song B, well, then if it all comes down to that, I'm probably just going to choose song B.
Right, you're going with it?
Yeah, I think...
But it is important, however, to realize that the client is first and foremost your responsibility, and you should please the client first and foremost, and then leave your personal touches and preferences to the very end.
Is there an amount, and watch this off the wall question, is there an amount where that changes? So, for example, if I give you $1 or $5,
$1
or $10 or $20 or $100 or $150 or $500 or $1,000, where you say, you know, not that there is a dollar amount, but since the question wasn't posed to me, like for me, you give me $1, I might play whatever the hell I want anyways. It just
like if people come up and request a song, they give you money,
or hire you for it. Like, okay, I get asked to do teenager gigs and stuff like that, and I'm just like, look, none of my music is clean. I don't have radio edits. I don't even bother wasting time with that because I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? I don't like the spaces being cut out. Like, I look at Zap sometimes when we're
Well,
at
at
the
least
bar,
you're being upfront with the client.
right? Zap's at the bar sometimes, and he'll play like a radio edit, and I'm like, dude.
One
what the
time,
fuck?
Kiko said I played radio edits because Santa Claus was there. There's a guy dressed like Santa Claus, and Kiko said, Zap don't want to play no bad word songs because Santa Claus is here.
So,
Oh, I drive Kiko mad because I'm like the king of the radio edits. I swear.
but you're on radio.
I think maybe that's why.
So-
I just like to play it
Right.
safe.
So you're on radio, so you have not only, I don't want to
A
say
vast selection of radio
no,
versions.
no. I don't want to say it's a responsibility, but at the same time, you're DJ Flashback on whatever radio station you're at. So when you're in the public, you kind of have to keep that persona going. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you
I
have
guess,
to,
but I mean, like,
I'm not
you
saying
know,
you
if,
have to,
if
but
I'm at Rancho and it's prime time and I got to play Get Low, I'm not going to play the clean version.
Right.
If I play the clean version, then people might look at me funny, even though they're going to sing it at the top of their lungs, the dirty lyrics anyway.
Oh, like they do at the school dances, from the window to the wall till the sweat drips
See,
down
now that's...
See,
I
so-
remember doing school dances where it's like, I like low-key cringe because I'm like, I don't want the school administrators to tell me anything.
But that
Stop
kid
singing it,
is
stop
going to say
chanting it.
balls. That kid's going to say balls.
Yeah.
So I try to tell potential clients, like, I just tell them early on. I'm
Well,
look,
it's
first of all,
honesty goes a long way.
First of all, I don't have DJ equipment.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to DJ your gig, I'm going to have to get DJ equipment. That means I'm going to have to rent it. I'm going to have to pay somebody for it. So I'm just going to tax that on
Yeah.
to your bill on top of what you want to pay me or what I want you to pay me per hour. Then knowing that, just know that I'm not going to bullshit and play some, edited versions of stuff. And also know that I pretty much keep it hip hop, some old school, whatever, a little bit of dance, but I'm not going to stray from my shit. Now, if you tell me I want you to play for 4 hours, I'm going to give you $1,000 and I want you to keep it all 50s, 60s, bebop. I'm going to be like, all right, give me 2 weeks. Let me download this shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
you know.
right.
But I feel like people got to be, you got to pay for what you're getting. You can't just be expected to do that.
Well, I think it's also, in a way, you're kind of choosing your client.
Right. Well, of course, because to me, it's not. I'm not
Like,
that driven.
trust me,
I
I mean-
don't call myself a DJ. Even somebody asked me because I went to the DJ battle last night in Santa Barbara, round 2, their Mixmaster tournament.
By the way, shout outs to
And-
all the DJs.
Yeah, because we're going to talk DJ battles right now. This is our
So I
segue to
went-
DJ battles, clean versions.
Someone asked me, how come you're not in the battle? And I'm like, I'm not in the battle because I'm not a DJ. I play music. I'm a music fan, and I play music. I might open up for Zap or Echo or whoever that I'm with, and I'll drop a little set. But I don't confuse it with DJing, and I don't get caught up in that, oh, I'm DJ K Diesel. No. I'm the idiot on the microphone that likes to talk, and I like to play music, and I think this works. If it doesn't work, fine.
But
I
you
kill
killed
the
it on
crowd.
Friday.
That's the thing, yeah. I think
did
Kiko.
great.
The thing with you, Kiko, is like you've developed a persona, and people love you for you. And I mean, that's something that that
Say
people,
that again so he hears.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm
he
serious.
hears it.
Like people know who you are. They know that if he's gonna be there, that you're gonna have a good time, and that's why people keep calling you.
I am a good time.
Yeah.
DJ Good Time.
By the way, we're looking for sponsors.
Good time.
That's
Good
what
time
I'm telling-
liquor?
That's why I told.
Hit like, hit subscribe, ring the bell, keep us going because we're close to our goal of 100. Once we get 100, then we get that locked in, things start moving. Once we get to 1,000, I'm getting Mixtape Podcast tatted on my forearm.
Right.
There it is.
So
You
let's
heard it
see
here
Let's
first.
do this. You know what I mean? It's gonna be right
And a
here.
butterfly under his eye.
Right.
Hurricane game. But we're going to jump to DJ battles. So, and we're not going to jump to last night's DJ battle because we're not talking about Santa Barbara Mixmaster.
But shout out to everybody,
Shout out to
yeah.
everybody. Shout out to DJ Lazy Boy was there.
Lazy Boy!
Hectic, Erec, and DJ Throwback.
Yeah.
Throwback J.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to all the DJs, Hectic, Erec, Throwback J.
Yeah, Throwback J.
And I mean, I can't say so much about Lazy Boy because I mean, I saw him at 3 Style, so I know where Lazy Boys came from.
Yeah. So
I talked
Such
to,
a dope DJ.
I spoke with Throwback Jay before he went on. He was really nervous about what he was gonna do and whatever. And I just said, look, man, these other 3 DJs, they're already experienced. They're already established.
The fact that he's part of that,
they've
lineup,
won battles. Yeah, you know what I mean. So here you are coming in as a relative newcomer. Yes, you've been at this for a while, but I just told him, just feel good that you made it to that point, that you made it to the second round amongst these guys, and that people are taking you serious, and just learn. Go in there with an open mind. Even talking to Hectic before he went on, and he was like, I don't know, I'm kind of just going to go over my set. And I said, bro, what do you got to prove? So what do you got to prove, dog? Like, you know, you already have a name for yourself. You have, I don't know, company, you've done this and that. You've been on radio, whatever. Like, just go up
but
there.
I mean, we do it for the fun.
That's what I told him. I said, just go up there and have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And let us just hear Hectic, you know what I mean? And he went up, he did his thing. So did all of them.
So did
all
E-Rec.
of them did
I saw the
thing.
video, but this is my segue. So
I really wish they would have streamed it. That would have been cool.
Yeah, you guys were watching like IG stories, but
Shout out to who would you say you watched it on? Los Amigos?
yeah, Los Amigos. Shout out to Marco and
Shout out to
Chino
them,
and the crew.
Yeah, they were there last night.
But
Oh my
you
God,
just
they were
won
fun.
a DJ battle recently, right? In the past 4 weeks, there's out of everybody sitting on this table, there's only one of us that won a recent DJ battle.
Oh, at the library, yeah.
At the library in Slow, which is not a small feat.
Shout out
That's a
shout
big
out to
thing.
the library.
You know,
We need
shout out to the library. Shout out to the library. We love going there on Tuesday night.
right?
But you recently won. How many DJs were entered in that battle?
I want to say there was like 8.
8.
I want to say there was a total of 8.
8 DJs, like the first UFC. 8 contestants
I think
and 8 alternates. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to say I don't know for certain, but I
Flashback with the
believe no. My first interaction with him was a DJ
A
battle.
DJ battle.
Was that the Gillies battle?
I think Gillies.
That was 10 years ago, yeah.
The Gillies battle.
Oh, 11
I was
years
there.
ago, yeah.
I remember watching that. Yeah.
I remember because were you also hosting it? Or because E-Rec was emceeing it. I remember E-Rec was like kind of like put it all together.
I think I got on. I don't think I was like officially part of it, but I was there. And
But
I
remember that night.
I was in the back handing drinks to underage. No, just kidding. Allegedly. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. We'll edit that part out. No.
Jesus,
Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No.
I'll throw this rim piece right at your.
Jeez.
Shout out to Angie. He was there that day that we had that battle. I remember that day.
Or were you one of the
Yeah,
judges?
yours. No, he wasn't judge. He just showed up. Like he showed up
I
like
think
in
Fresh
his work,
Frank was a
like
judge.
in his work clothes and everything. Like he was all like properly dapper, slacks y todo. Like
He do be
just
doing
got
that.
off work.
He do be doing
just got
that.
off
He
work.
do showed up.
Yeah,
And I remember because OG, shout out to Orlando. OG was there, and I remember he was.
at the battle.
And I remember he
Who,
was.
Orlando?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out. No, I remember Orlando was like, he was like, Angie, go to the rock right now with the b-boy set.
Right on. They so you entered a battle. When did it start? Break that down
It
for us.
started like last year.
Last year,
technically, like late December. So
Okay, and then it was.
I know we're like last day of February
Well,
today.
right. Gee, it feels like
Time
forever.
flies.
So there's multiple rounds. There's 8 DJs. It was you and another DJ, and then the winner goes to the next week. And
Yeah,
at the
so
same
like
time, they
that,
had
right.
the first couple rounds. So how was that? How did you?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, because it was right at the peak of when the Omicron wave hit, and all the kids were like, freaking out, and school hadn't been back in session yet.
Yeah,
so they were all hunkered down, and turnout was meh, but eventually it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun, even though I just wish I had time to really prep a set and everything, but I ended up putting it all together on the fly in the end. But nevertheless, though, it was all about like we were just talking about, in the end, just go have fun. Whether if you win, cool. If you lose, it's all good. Life goes on.
Right.
And if anything, for all the DJs out there who are, thinking about, maybe I want to enter a DJ battle, just go and do it.
Right.
If anything, you'll get more respect among everybody else because you'll be like, wow, like, you know, he actually came out, you know, he did his thing. He might not have won, but at least we know who he is.
Yeah, we may. I mean, I think me and Kiko been talking about like hosting some battle thing or something.
Shout out to DJ Icon in the chat.
My idea.
DJ Icon in the chat. Just in time, we're talking DJ battles right now.
Yeah.
My idea that I had floating around, and I was talking with Timler, not Timeless, but Tyler Story, because he was working, or I think he still is working at the Depot Bar in Los Alamos.
Right.
And so we were talking of doing like a North County versus South County. I don't want to call it a battle, but maybe like a showcase, or you know what I mean? Like something like that, where we meet in Los Alamos, which is sort of in the middle, and do like Santa Barbara DJs versus, you know, Santa Maria, and
cool.
At some place we put in like Buellton, Lompoc, like maybe in the middle, like a third category of DJs. You know what I mean? Because
maybe you could do like a Ventura County or Santa Barbara County, Slow County, or something like that.
It would be dope. It would be dope to get that big and established. However, finding a place is
not just finding a place. It's also you know, a lot of DJs, you know, have day jobs, and we all got to figure all that out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
We'll have two battles, one for the DJs with the day jobs and one for the DJs without the day jobs.
We'll do like a Sunday afternoon. It's a DJ battle and brunch.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll include menu.
BYOB.
Right.
Menudo. Over on the other side, there's eggs.
It's gonna be bring your own booze and bring your own phase.
Right.
Bring your own records, needles, slip mats, and booze.
It'll be
and champagne.
DJ battles and mimosas.
Right. Exactly.
We got to get that going. I mean, we talked to the Santa Maria Inn. They do a nice brunch. Sundays. You know
Hey man, most of the DJs will
it,
just show. If you enter,
do that at Marisol at the Cliffs.
all right. If you enter, you get free food. Are you in or not?
Right?
I'm in.
Oh,
30-second set, everybody.
fun.
It's going to be a $25 entry, but that's going to cover your plate. So
Yeah.
I was mentioning a fun little anecdote because I mentioned what did I mention? Marisol at the Cliffs.
Right.
I don't know if you remember this, but remember I was on a festival lineup for a festival that was supposed to happen at Avila.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Forever Neverland.
Right.
Remember
Forever
that?
Neverland. Yeah. What happened? Tell us
The
local,
whole organization
is that the one Ja Rule was throwing?
Yeah, the local fire festival.
Might as well. Man.
Allegedly.
No, this was pre-Fire Fest.
Right.
Like this is pre-Fire Fest. Like
Right,
Fire Fest
right.
happened like right after this. But no, they like the promoter had gotten in touch with us at the station. I think even Hectic was also another DJ for the bill because he was DJing for the Vibe at the time, and I was on Wild. So they had us on different stages, and they brought like the whole setup and stages and everything. But I think just the logistics of setting it up at Avila, it all blew up in their faces, and it all just was bad. Like
Did it never happen, or it did happen?
It did happen. It was just bad, and people were like wanting their money back and all of that. Like they pretty much overpromised and severely underdelivered.
Because I seen there was I definitely remember seeing like a video or it was a foam video or something. Someone perform. They were DJing, and there's like there's like
This will
10
stay on
people
YouTube.
watching.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. It was DJing though. It's been a minute.
It's kind of sad because there's been a couple events that were almost too good to be true. Like almost happened. Was gonna happen. People even paid. Remember the?
That's kind of how I feel about that whole punk festival they're doing in Vegas.
Oh, right. It's the.
What was the name of it, babe? Yes, When We Were Young.
Yes, there we go. When we were young. Shout out to Raina Osterbauer. She bought tickets. Raina, I know you're not watching, but still, she bought tickets. She definitely she's down. We were just talking about this like the other day at work. I was like.
But there was a series of failed. Well, we don't want to talk about that. Let's talk
but
about
anyways,
stuff that actually worked.
keep going.
But to finish the anecdote on a lighter note,
yeah.
So A-Track, the legendary, DMC DJ, was supposed to perform. He was supposed to do a set that day.
Oh, okay.
And I was so stoked because I was like, I'm opening up for A-Track. Like, yo, this is
Huge.
But the show ended up kind of being a bust and whatever. But I didn't let it get to me. Somehow, because I was backstage, I had heard, like, where all the artists were and everything, I had heard that 8-Track was going to be at the Cliffs because he was staying there.
Oh.
And he was doing a meet and greet. So
What?
I remember we packed up and we drove over there. And, yeah, we got to
Meet 8-Track.
meet 8-Track. And
Hang out.
Timeless even got his This Bank shirt signed by 8-Track.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
So
dope.
that was a fun little anecdote about, and it was at Marisol at the Cliffs. So
He's easily one of my favorites. Like
Yeah.
just to watch, like just him do this thing. Even excuse me, he was on Twitch the other day, and I watched him, and he's like, he played some remix, and he's like, put the flames up, put the flames up. And everyone started putting their emojis, right?
Right.
What it calls put the flames up, and he was like, let me see it, and he had the graphics on either side of him.
Oh.
And so all the little flames are rising up, and he's like, come on. And I was like, damn, that's that kind of creative. You know what I mean? You don't see that a lot. Like,
by the way,
people get like into a certain thing, and then they just lock it down. They're like, oh, well, this is our
you
setup.
both know somebody who is like that and is sitting in this room who I could totally see doing in a live stream. Mr. Anthony G over here. I can see
Angie
it.
Come
on!
In the ice cream
Give
truck
me
or the truck.
more!
Remember we
Right?
did the thing?
It's gonna be like that the Elmo on fire GIF.
Exactly.
Though.
We got to show him flowers because he's actually the one that put, like, he was like, man, we got to change your guys' look a little bit. Like,
and if you're not subscribed to Angie already, you got to subscribe. Where's my
subscribe
subscribe?
to
Hold on.
Angie.
Is there a no, it's not.
Yeah, go visit him at your local AAA branch.
Oh, that's true, man, because he's my guy.
He's now accepting walk-ins.
He's my guy.
Right,
he gave me the lowest quote of any insurance plan. I was like, yes, I'll take it. Let's go.
Absolutely.
And G's the man with the master plan.
He was, all I heard was,
Yo, keep doing that.
he's like, let me see. You smoking? No.
So,
You have any accidents? No. Oh, okay. He was like,
have you been convicted of a felony in the last 5 years?
no. It was 9 years ago.
That was easy.
Right?
So, I guess I have a question for both of you since you guys started. I know.
Well, it is your fucking show, so go.
No, but I wanted to,
go right ahead. Yes,
because Kiko brought up a good point about how he was talking about this. We were talking about This Bangs Radio and how how we met all the DJs and everything. Right. But when the pandemic hit and everybody went to Twitch, we were kind of doing the similar thing. If you think about it,
right?
Like, think of all the dope DJs that we never heard before, and that we got to at least see on Twitch. That could be, in X part of the world.
Right.
And not just that, like all the work that they were putting in, like even like the backdrops were nice and everything. Like even though it's like halfway across the world and everything. It was, I felt like the DJ community really came together, especially when this whole pandemic happened.
We messed around with green screen for a little bit. Of course, nothing will beat Zap's streams with Teen Angel.
Teen Angel in the background.
Behind him.
Louis B's in the back.
That was old school. People were loving that shit. Yeah, when I remember just being bored at my house. We were going, how come you don't go live? And I'm like, I cannot DJ to the wall or to the window out my room. Like, I just can't.
To the window.
You know what I mean? It was just like, it just didn't feel right. I'm like trying to play music and get hype, and it didn't work. I don't really like drinking by myself, so like drinking at home in my room wasn't cool. It was just like, no, this isn't happening. This guy's like, I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna stream live, and
you kind of you were one of the first people to actually start DJing, like streaming on Facebook. I remember all out of the local DJs.
I was beating the algorithm, so I kind of figured how to.
He had so many.
I had a lot of tricks to beat.
And for all the DJs that are watching who remember watching this guy on Facebook, I remember all of us asking ourselves, how come he never got kicked off Facebook Live?
Right.
And all of us did.
Right.
Yeah.
You did, I did,
because
you did, he would never. Yeah,
tricks.
He figured it out.
He's like, he would sit there and he's like, I think this is gonna work right here if I just go. and speed it up like this.
Yeah, I
Never gonna let you go. You're my baby. It was like,
Why
okay.
is it always Never Gonna Let You Go by Tina Moore?
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else that's in the moment right now. But I'm saying, like,
why'd you have to think of the most Santa Maria song?
Because it's so Santa Maria.
Yeah, I think we just got 114 new viewers right now when you sang that.
So Kiko, I have a fun anecdote for you. So I listen to a lot of I like you started listening to Dash Radio and all that. I started listening to a lot of stuff from overseas from the UK and all that.
Okay.
And since they come with an app and it looks all nice and slick when you hook it up to your car's Apple Play or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I remember I had it, and one time I was driving to work, and that song came on, but it was the
Steve Hurley house mix or
was
whatever it is.
The garage, the two-step
garage,
garage remix.
Wow.
That was a hit in the UK.
Right. Rewind.
But the
select,
R&B version, if you look it up on like YouTube or everything, you look at the comments, they all say Sam Maria. They all say like Sam Maria. I know, I kid you not. Like, I don't know what it was, or maybe it was a radio thing back in the day where the radio stations back then probably played that song here. And it just blew up.
Kiko has that.
I believe so. There was a certain set of songs that was like that. So I had never, even coming from doing clubs since I was 18 years old, being involved in a nightclub some form or other, and a lot of, 18 over spots in Santa Barbara, Zello, Alex's, and just everywhere in between, and then moving to radio. I admit there were certain songs that I never heard of. Tina Moore, Never Gonna Let You Go, I never heard of that song. And then everyone was like, oh, this is an old school song. And then I was like, check the date, and it came out like in 96.
Yeah.
So I was like, this isn't old school, but I mean, it had that
old school feel to it.
Vibe or whatever.
I get it. One of the other ones was
After Party.
well, yeah.
That's one of the Coffee Brown After Parties.
But Flowers by the Emotions.
Interesting.
Familiar with?
Yeah.
So.
Take it
Only
over.
heard it here in Santa Maria.
Oh, really?
Never heard it anywhere else.
You know what's also like that? Sherelle, I didn't mean to turn you on. For some reason, I never heard it anywhere else, but I always hear it here in Santa Maria.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that song, but not people loving it as much. My experience growing up with old school was kind of, I guess, what they call like backyard funk. So it's like more Bounce and Atomic Dog and Flashlight, and all that. And everyone's like, okay, yeah, we used to listen to that too, but we don't anymore.
Right.
We want to go deeper or whatever. And so, I remember we were somewhere, and I was probably with Eric at the time, and he was like, watch this, and he played Clock on the Wall, and people just went ape shit. And I was like, really? Clock on the Wall? Like,
yeah.
But they did, and Santa Maria really has a stronghold on that, where even today, young people still get down to old school, and that is cool. Like, at one point it annoyed me, but now that I've gone through it, I'm older and stuff like that, I can see that and I feel that.
With the younger
generation, like knowing, I have a prep cook. He's young, and we were talking about music, and he had no idea. Like, he had no idea who Wu-Tang Clan was, and I played the Wu-Tang Clan song. He was like, yo, this is hard. And I'm like, bro, you don't know about Wu-Tang? He's like, no. And I'm like, go watch Hulu. Like, go catch up real quick. But there's so much music, and I was trying to explain to him about music and this and that, blah, blah. Next day he comes in, and I'm like, yo, put some music on. And he starts playing Biggie, starts playing Notorious, and he's rapping he knows all of it.
Right.
How the hell do you know Notorious Big, but you don't know Wu-Tang? They came out at the same time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People listen to what they listen to. The people listen to what their parents listen to.
Yeah.
And the same way it just continues, and then eventually evolves. He listens to a lot of stuff I can't stand.
I mean, that's kind of how I got my.
I don't want to, man. See,
You can't put him on the spot now.
Because I want to say somebody's artist who There's just one artist that I've been just listening to lately that I'm just.
But just in case we interview them 6 years from now, we don't want to go back and then their manager says, "Screw you, we ain't coming on the show."
Does anybody like this guy? He sounds like he's been living in a bubble his whole life. Like he's not gangster when he talk like this.
We're talking about Kodak.
Oh my God! I didn't want to say no names.
Oh wow.
It's cool. It's cool. Remember, nobody on the West Coast likes Kodak. Remember?
It's kind of weird how he knew exactly who I was.
He said something about Lauren London, allegedly.
Right? No. Angie says the internet's forever, so we won't.
Yeah.
I didn't say no names.
Right. We just said, are you talking about someone who it sounds like Bodak?
I just said that it sounded like someone who lived in a bubble his whole life.
No, you got me with the voice, not the bubble thing. I was thinking of somebody else completely different when you said bubble.
It's just, I get it. And so he's just like, nah, you know.
He has the number one song out right now.
My youngster's telling me, like, nah,
like
dog,
Super Gremlin
this is hard. Like, this is fire, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, this guy sounds like he just bit his tongue right before he started rapping. Like,
Is this
easy? I saw that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Anyways,
you want to know something? That ZZ song, I actually really like that song. And that's the only song I like. I don't like Super Gremlin, but for some reason that song, I don't know why. I think this is a beat.
Gremlin.
We play it at Rancho all the time.
Right.
Like, I mean,
Didn't we play that on Friday?
Super Gremlin? Yeah, I think so.
Right? We played it.
Yeah. I mean, again, you got to play to your crowd.
I guess.
You know, so.
But I mean, in that case, I guess ZZ was the hit. But I mean, I don't go and dive into Kodak Black's discography or whatever. No, I can't.
I'm all Polo G.
Oh, Kiko loves Polo G. Polo G the GOAT.
You heard it there.
It's all right. You know.
No, it's not all right. He plays it every time he DJs.
It's cool. We're Team Nipsey up here.
It's part of his. It's definitely
not every time, you know. But I can. Yeah.
No, that's part of your playlist,
I can listen to.
That's You're Never Gonna Let You Go right there.
No, it's
not.
It's not. Come on, man.
I have a feeling Kiko might have a heart attack if I ever make an edit putting Kodak Black a cappella over Tina Moore.
Yeah.
It's somehow I can see that being in key.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna try that tonight.
You heard it here first.
Right. Exactly.
You know,
I'm making the new generation of TikTok mashups.
I'm okay with a lot of the new artists, but just some of them are just like, and then some I don't want to like, but I think their music gets put out a lot, so you end up kind of liking it.
Mandy in the chat.
What's the dude's name?
Mixtape.
The guy, Old Town Road guy.
Lil Nas X.
Yeah. So I don't want to like his music, but
Montero, you like Montero?
I think so, kind of.
Yeah,
like
it's okay.
It's that, you know what I mean. It's just
the Industry Baby one. That's a Kanye beat.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, I can sort of relate. Kind of, not really. But.
Can absolutely. We got to ask the equipment questions because we're at that time now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. So every one of our guests who DJs, we always ask, because we got a lot of DJs in the chat. They want to know what you use, weapons of choice. They don't ask it. We ask it for them because. So what do you prefer to use when you DJ? I know you mentioned 1200s, etc. But what do you really like?
Say 1200s is all I got.
Yeah.
That's what I got at the moment right
between
now.
1200s and 1200s. What do you use?
No, I have 1200s. For some reason I have two DJ mixers. I have an S9 and then I have the 900.
And that's like a very similar answer that we got last week. But which one do you prefer more, the S9 or the 900?
Recently, recently because I've been messing around doing a lot of turntablist stuff. So yeah, the S9 probably right now.
Now that he's winning battles and shit.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to say I won a battle a couple weeks ago, but I took out 7 other challengers.
No, but everybody who, like, all the DJs that know me know that, I have a certain way of how I like my gear. Like, I have, like, my own dream setup to have one day.
And
I'm almost there.
Okay, so what's the dream?
Well, I already have the 212s.
Right.
I want to get a pair of CDJs, just the newest ones. The 2000.
Okay.
The
Nexus,
Nexus
whatever
2s or whatever.
Yeah.
Get a pair of those. Probably keep the 900. If they had a rotary club kit for that thing, I would.
You turn the knobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want
because I would want like a mixer with rotary channels.
Well, instead of
yes.
Yeah.
Vestax came out with one. I remember too back in the day. There was a rotary and it had a fader on it.
Yeah, I think Fern has a rotary.
Shout out to DJ Fern.
Yeah. That Fern has? The 3-channel? That one's dope. The empath.
Yeah, he has the empath. There you go. So right
that
now
one has that and a
900,
fader.
but you want
It's
with the
always
fader.
a trip to see somebody DJ with something like
The
that
knobs,
with the
yeah.
knobs because just kind of like, oh, okay. Now,
But it's some of like the
now every
smoothest
controller
mixing,
that I
yeah.
see is just like, like a Raven. It's like a bunch of Skittles. Just
with all the cue point colors and everything.
Like when they come out with the new
like a
Pioneer mixer, they say the S14,
Tasha 69
and then
commercial.
they have all those Frankenstein ones that they
Right.
put together,
So-
and they looks like Pac-Man.
Echo has the Rain one. So every once in a while he'll bring it out. And somebody came up to me. He was like, "Oh, that's a whole lot of colors.
Yeah,
That's a whole lot of lights."
Yeah.
right.
No, but yeah, I guess I'd have to. Yeah, 12s. I just love the feel 12s. I mean, I've had controllers in the past, and I mean, for controllers, practicality-wise, it makes sense.
Right.
But there's something about 12s, man. It's
Do you
just,
take the 12s out when you do weddings and stuff, or is
Recently,
that,
I have, just because with the pandemic, I think a lot of DJs did the same thing. They sold their controllers, and
Yeah,
with all the
like-
chip shortages and everything going on,
That's
it's hard
right.
to get DJ controllers. A lot of them are on back order.
Yeah, keep selling them.
I don't know about now though. Maybe they're not anymore as they used to.
No, they're still on back. They're still on back order. You try to order SRT, it might be not available till
because
April.
everybody wants that SRT. That SRT is a really good controller.
Yeah, SRT.
I think you should charge more if you break out the 12s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you show up to a wedding and you show up with turntables, people are automatically impressed.
And need
You know
so
what I mean?
you.
Which, by the way,
mentioned
shout
the
out
phase.
shout out to both Erek and Hectic because they both rocked weddings with 12s to this
Yeah,
day.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Eric did. He was on our show a while back. He did confess that he takes his little controller now because
No, but that's fine. I mean,
it's
practicality. You got to save your
So-
back.
exactly,
Man.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Needles
But-
or are you using phase with Serato or are you using needles? I know we talked about it, but for the folks that
No, I ended up getting the phases finally just because I went through my last pair of those M44 needles and it's just
that was it.
Yeah.
Could go on Amazon and buy like the whatever
The Japanese
the
edition.
hand pin.
But everybody
yeah.
says they're not the same.
Yeah, I
so.
don't think they're exactly the same as what I hear, but I think that's the
So-
only one that fits.
But I think with the phases, I think I'm fine
That's
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
didn't Johnny come up on a box of
Phases?
no
The
M44s?
M44s. Yeah, I heard.
Oh, maybe he did.
I think he did.
They might be downstairs right now. as
Right
we
now.
As we speak.
No.
All kinds of DJs
No,
just
but-
entered the chat. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Hit him Juan Travolta.
But I still have a pair of ortophones,
Oh, okay, all right.
which is usually what I use. Like when I play back my records, I use
That's
the
Yeah.
so
ortophones.
great. I remember when those first came out,
Yeah.
right? And
They're the
and-
Q-Birds,
and,
too.
And people started breaking out with those, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what
the-
are
the Concord
those,
needles?
right?
Yeah.
And it was just like,
Looked
oh
like a-
yeah, it's like a whole new head shell, like a
Look
whole
like a girl with
everything.
long nails ready to
Right.
scratch.
Oh, it's supposed to be able to scratch. It's like, okay.
Yeah, because it's like a really long nail. Yeah, it looked like a really long nail.
Yeah, come here, my pretty.
And then, and then pretty much
They're
everybody
still
started using them.
expensive though. You're talking.
Yeah,
You're
you
talking
know,
getting a pair of those, like a brand new pair of those, like all
Right.
ready to go, mounted, pre-mounted, and everything. You're looking at about $400
Damn.
for a pair.
I remember people going through them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
going through them, right? You know, because I just remember seeing a lot of DJs just like make that switch, and then I think the first person to switch back that I remember was Wicked, and he was just like, I like him for club play, but when you're trying
the
to
phase?
scratch, you know what I mean? Like he just
Oh yeah,
can't,
it's not the same.
you know, it doesn't work. So like,
Right.
you know, he stopped using the order. Well, actually, he had, you know, you could tell when it. Remember the cases? People had like cases for their needles
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it would just be like, bam, like there's a pair of order
Well,
funds,
yeah,
there's the shirts,
just
there's
laying
the-
all like
you know what
like
I mean?
bullets
Right.
inside a case, ready to
yeah,
be
you're
pulled
just
out.
picking your weapon. Like, oh,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do today?
Right.
You know. I still remember going back when people
Shout
had
out to Wicked. by the
people
way.
had to put a penny or a nickel on their head shell
top,
when they were trying to scratch, just because I think it'd be skipping.
Thank you, Staten.
Then you have to turn down the bass.
Right?
Nobody get the feedback.
Nobody really knew how to adjust.
Yeah, the
Everything, all the balance and the weights and all that stuff. I remember seeing DJs automatically take the back weight off and flip it around.
Yeah.
And just put it on, and it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Or they put it all the way to the front. They put the needle all the way to the back. Like,
yeah.
like you're just wasting. You're just cue burning your records. Like,
Right.
That's all you're doing.
Good stuff.
All right. So your links. Where can people?
Where can they catch you? Where can they see you? I'm trying to get a hold
I
of.
guess the
I
best-
did say Mixcloud because, like I said, I still get his
Yeah,
alerts.
we want all the links. We don't just
No,
want
like
one link.
Flashback.
Sometimes we're
Well,
like,
I
"Where's
guess-
the link? Just find me at Flashback at Instagram and leave me the hell alone. No, what are the links? Where can they find your stuff?
Well, I guess the best way to just find out a little general about me and the best way to get to all the links is just go to the website, dj-flashback.com.
Wait, what the hell? You have a actual website?
Yeah. I still haven't been able to get the hyphen off because apparently the domain costs like $6,000. And then, I don't have that kind of money yet.
Right.
So dj-flashback.com, but on everything else at DJ Flashback. So Mixcloud, Insta, Twitter, Facebook still.
MySpace.
No.
TikTok.
Oh, TikTok. Yeah, don't forget.
Shout out to your loyal TikTok followers.
The TikTok king of the 805 here. This guy started going viral in the pandemic. Like when I barely started getting back on TikTok, I'm like, Zap's on this?
I'm like,
Out of all the people
Zap, you
I
got 10,000
expected-
followers, but we can't get 100 on YouTube. Use your TikTok. He's like, no,
Just post
no,
little
no,
clips
no.
of you and on the post little clips of you on the TikTok. I'm sure a lot of DJ TikTok will check in.
Yeah, I'm.
That TikTok. Oh, now he doesn't want to.
I definitely was following Flashback as soon as I'm following, right? So I still do, and I was like, yeah,
But,
that's
I
what I like
mean,
to see. And it was still
I
early. It's
I
not
have
like
like 4 videos. This fool's got like 200. But you do a lot of stuff with like your kids.
yeah, I
and
do a
the
lot.
family
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
we're early adopters, is what we call. We're as long as you're early, and I say we because you're early compared to now. And what I mean is now you see someone. You mentioned TikTok, and everyone says okay, but when we're on, it's when people said TikTok, that's for kids. If I ever, this is their exact post on Instagram. If I ever get a TikTok, kill me. If I ever get a TikTok, shoot me.
So
And
sad part is that was only a few years ago.
Yeah, and that's all they
Right.
post now on there. Like, oh, it's Reels. It's not TikTok. No,
So I
bro,
don't
that's
know-
TikTok.
I don't know if you guys remember that before it was called TikTok, it was an app called Musical.ly.
Yeah, Musically.
And
yes.
I remember actually shout out to Soul again because it was his fault. His fault. No, I'm kidding. Not his fault, but he was the one that I remember him telling me. He's like, "Yeah, have you checked out this app Musically?" And
Yeah.
I remember because we'd gone down to Temecula to do a wedding.
Yeah.
This years ago, and I was like, "No, what is it?" He's like, "Check it out. It's like people do like a bunch of dances on there. Like it's like the next viral things like pop up on TikTok. Like
Right.
And of course, we as DJs we want to be on top of all the trends
Right.
and everything. We want to get ahead of it." So
Yeah.
and I remember I downloaded it and it's cool. There was when that what song was that the Rolly Rolly with the Dabba Ranch song came out or whatever, that viral thing that was
Yeah,
going
it was
out.
ahead. Music wise, it was like way ahead. I mean, I was hearing
Yeah.
songs, and then 6 months later.
But then
it-
I didn't download it again until once the pandemic kind
Oh,
of hit, and that's
okay.
when I started.
There you go. It automatically transferred to your account.
Pretty much.
I remember
Yeah.
people asking me about it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's like kids are into it. And then after the first shutdown of the pandemic, it was like, all you saw was housewives and single mothers. And it was
What are you watching, my friend?
all
What's
you
on your
saw.
For You page, brother?
That's all I saw as far as TikTok. Like, that's just, right?
No, I
It
mean,
was
my
people
girlfriend,
doing
my
cheerleader
girlfriend will tell
dances
you,
and
like,
shit, just-
my algorithm right now,
Right.
because I'm a nerd when it comes to, like, watching, historical things and
Right,
current
right.
events. So right now, my girlfriend will tell you, right now on my TikTok, it's literally, like,
Right.
cat dog videos and then
Right.
everything going on in Ukraine. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah,
in
yeah.
between.
Yeah,
it's
all right,
either
all right,
or.
right. Saw that one with the little chihuahua kissing everybody from on the couch recently. That's pretty good. No, not yet.
So, I still don't have the app.
Right on. So they could find find you on DJ-Flashback.com, and then you got your Instagram, Mixcloud. Don't forget, Kiko is like the follower on there, because I mean, honestly,
I'm cool.
Shout him out directly. We were talking about the direct shout out. You say this goes out to KAD.
I'm just saying, like I get the alerts Fridays, right? Is that what you said?
That's usually when I post them on Fridays. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Flashback Friday.
Because the thing is since the show obviously runs out pre-recorded, we record it ahead of time.
Right.
We put together the mix, then we put together the voiceovers, and then when I put it all together and load it in the system, usually that's when you'll see me put it up online, and it's usually on a Friday.
Right on. Awesome.
So usually when I'm putting the mix together and uploading it into the system right around the time it airs, you'll see me post it on Mixcloud.
Cool.
As well, so.
And do you have any shows, any appearances coming up if they want to go see you mix live?
Not necessarily right now at the moment. I mean, we just did the beer fest and all that. That was cool. But
was that this past weekend?
Yeah,
the big packed one where everybody was okay.
Yeah, I think I don't know the official numbers, but we got I want to say at least 1,800 people. At
Yeah,
the
it looked.
Expo,
I mean, I saw some videos. I was like, good Lord, there's a lot of people in there, and they're dancing early, huh? Yeah.
They were already drunk.
Yeah.
And they were mostly kids.
I wouldn't know.
Out of
I was
town
at work.
Having another one in May.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So that should be fun.
Flashback will be there.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, I've just been doing a lot of events, weddings, and stuff.
Well,
like
May
that,
will come quick, so
yeah.
Make sure you go check out Flashback.
But yeah, follow me on all the socials.
Coming this May.
Yeah.
To a coast near you.
And any shout outs you want to give, anything like that?
Well, I mean, shout outs to you guys primarily. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for
coming.
Shout out
to Aunt G behind the controls. My beautiful girlfriend Michelle, who's sitting over there on the couch. Thank you so much for coming out, babe.
Dun, dun, dun.
And she thought she wasn't gonna get a shout out at all today.
She's sitting there fact checking.
Yeah.
She's taking notes. She's like, oh, he didn't talk about this. He didn't talk about this. Nah, I'm kidding. And, of course, I mean, shout out to just all the DJs out there doing your thing. I mean, and, of course, to everybody from, Soul, Butter, I mean, the whole crew. Everybody, all the DJs out there, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, there's room for all of us. That's the thing. It's like we all have something to bring to the table. We all, can make it all work, and I think we all do a pretty good job of doing that. So yeah, big ups to you guys, all the DJs out there. Keep doing your thing. This is gonna be our year, now with everything opening back up and everything. I'm sure you guys as DJs share my excitement in the sense of
I'm excited for you getting your dream set up all figured, and now that all the
ask me again in 10 years. I've been having the dream set up.
Who knows?
For 10 years.
You might be on this show and they're gonna be like, "Man, I got help Flashback get his dream set up."
I was gonna say, unless this is like the Ellen Show, where all of a sudden it's like, well, actually,
Justin Bieber's in a little box. He's gonna pop up right now.
I'm gonna get scared right now.
Go downstairs and we have your setup.
We have your setup. Just go ahead and pick whatever you need.
No, but seriously, I mean, again, thank out to all the radio family out there, even from all the people over at the station for Wild, all the team at On Alt. Shout out to even our competitors over at AGM, because they do a great job in keeping radio local, and that's exactly what we want to do here and what this community needs. So we're doing our best, we're each and every day. So to all the DJs and all the radio people out there, keep doing what you do.
Nice, nice.
To everybody in the chat and everybody watching on the replays, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Shout out to Adept. Shout out to MMC. Shout out to Markov. All of our sponsors. Go ahead, hit it.
Yeah,
Bam.
right there. Adept.
Bam. One more time.
MMC. Bam. Markov. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe. Yes,
little Kiko, little Zap, and little Flashback say subscribe. No.
Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll catch you next time.
Peace.